Welcome once again to another President Kamala Harris interview reaction. In this video, Fox News anchor gave their opinion about Kamala Harris interview on CNN, and later on in the interview, they had JD Vance, Donald Trump running mate, who also came and gave his own reaction to everything Kamala Harris said in the interview, and he made some really wonderful points that I would like you to also listen to. If today is your first time being on this channel, please, I would like you to subscribe to this channel. So let's go into the video and watch Fox News reaction to Kamala Harris interview, and also JD Vance reaction to the interview. Let's dive into it.
All right, we got some news today because Kamala Harris finally gives her first official interview as the Democratic nominee, promising a new way forward. Watch.
One of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard.
But Harris struggled to lay out her day one agenda, having difficulty explaining her flip-flopping on policies.
I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed.
Okay, this as Harris faces criticism for having Governor Walz by her side during the interview. Politico is reporting, quote, a senior campaign official also made the important stipulation that obviously she will do solo interviews in the future as well.
Yes, I think it was a bad move having with her in the interview, her running mate. It doesn't show she has confidence in herself. It doesn't show that she can handle America on her own. What she just showed us is that she'll be taking calls from the guy in suit or from the unknown guys at the background. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like someone who can say no to external forces that would want her to do their bidding. I don't think, from what we've seen, because she has been the vice president for almost 4 years. So I believe at that position she must have worked on cases, or must have seen to some issues that would have boosted her confidence to speak to the public or to have an interview or to debate. But everything that we just seen, the interview just showed us why she has been afraid to talk to the media for this past 40 days.
Well, somebody who does interviews every day, does extemporaneous speaking, and saw him yesterday, is vice presidential candidate, Ohio Senator JD Vance. JD, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
So last night we watched the 27-minute interview that CNN did, and Dana Bash did ask a lot of the questions we wanted answers to. And one of the most important things was, how do you, Vice President Harris, explain the flip-flops? But as we just heard in that soundbite, she's not flip-flopping because she has the same values.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, right? So if you have the same values, why have you changed your mind on literally every topic that you previously held an opinion on? But I think it's important for us not to buy this. If you look at the way that Kamala Harris is governed, she's actually governed as a far-left person. She's just trying to pretend that she's not far-left now because, of course, she wants to win the American people's votes over the next couple of months. But if she does, she's going to do the same thing that she's been doing for the last few years. She's going to try to make it harder to get American energy from American territory. She's going to make it harder for us to drive down the cost of everything from food to housing. She's going to make it harder for us to enforce our border laws, and she's going to make more chaos and more instability around the world. So it's really absurd for Kamala Harris to sit there and say, well, I don't actually believe in any of the thing that I told you I believed 3 years ago. She has governed as a person who believes those things, and unfortunately, the American people are far off because of it.
So, Senator, she flipped on the EV mandates through the Green New Deal, the border wall, decriminalizing the border cross, Medicare for all, which she was the co-sponsor. I mean, that's a major flip. The mandatory gun buyback, fracking, apparently she supports it now, and offshore drilling. You know, I know it's only been 2 years into politics for you, Senator, but politicians, they change their position. But the problem I have with Kamala Harris, and it's much like when you graciously invited me into your home, I want to know why she changed her position. You told me why you changed your position on Donald Trump. Why aren't we hearing why she changed?
Well, in part because she refuses to give interviews, right? So this is her first interview in 40 days. And of course, she's flanked by her VP colleague there. But she's not a person who actually knows, I think, why she believes the things that she says that she believes. You're exactly right. She did impose an EV mandate, which is going to ship a lot of American manufacturing jobs to China. She has supported the defund the police movement, which has made a lot of our cities much more violent and a lot of our neighborhoods much less safe. She has done all of these things as she's been in government. And again, now she's trying to run away from it. And I agree with you guys. She should have to sit and answer tough questions about why she's changed her mind. I think she answered one question yesterday about how she changed her mind. It was a bit of a word salad, and I don't think it actually gave Americans any insight into who Kamala Harris really is. Yeah, the final point that I just make about how she was trying to explain her changed perspectives is, if you actually watched what she was saying, the way that she was saying it, it's clear that she doesn't have very strong convictions. I actually, even though I'm running against her, I felt a little bad for her because it was clear that she wasn't totally sure-footed, and she didn't totally know why she was saying the things that she was saying. She's been coached to pretend to be a moderate. Unfortunately, guys, she's governed as a San Francisco liberal, and because of it, Americans are poorer, the world is more chaotic, and our border is wide open. We've got to take this country in a new direction, which is why we've got to elect Donald Trump.
Well, let's talk about Pennsylvania, because that is a very important state, and fracking, which matters a lot to the people in Pennsylvania. Here's Kamala Harris on fracking.
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking. I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking.
Senator, and here she is back in 2019.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
So, Senator, how do you be simultaneously for the Green New Deal and now for fracking?
Well, you can't. Those are just totally inconsistent positions.
Exactly.
And I actually think that Kamala Harris may have told an explicit lie on top of what she's already said here. So think about this. Kamala Harris says that she changed her mind in 2020 on the debate stage. Her last debate was in 2019 because she dropped out of the race before it really got to voting. So she's saying that she changed her mind on fracking during her general election debate. That's not true. She definitely did not do that. So I think that Kamala Harris got away with a very dishonest sort of revision of her record there. But then let's go back just to how this affects the lives of American families and American workers. Fracking is one of the main ways that we have to drive down the cost of energy. Right. And if you think groceries are expensive now. What happens when we increase the cost of energy even further, making it hard to get the food to the grocery store? If you think the cost of housing is bad now, what happens when we increase the cost of producing the materials that go into the houses, which is what a ban on fracking would do? She is pursuing a policy, guys, that is going to make Americans poorer in their own country. And it's so fascinating. The media is so desperate to let her get away with this that they don't even push her on the fact that she's changed her mind, allegedly, on 8 different topics. And the final thing is, the proof is in the pudding. Kamala Harris can say that she's changed her mind on American energy or changed her mind on police or changed her mind on immigration. She is the sitting vice president of the United States. If she's changed her mind, why doesn't she enact these policies now and make Americans better off? I don't think she believes it, which is why you're not seeing it in what she's doing.
And Dana Bash kind of asked about that. Hey, you've been vice president for 3.5 years. Last night, we know what she's doing with these new positions, Senator. She is racing to the middle because when, there's one, you're way out there on the fringe when you're in the primary, and then you race to the middle in the general, and that's what she's doing. But she said, and obviously she's fishing around for Republican votes as well, because she was asked, and she said that she would appoint a Republican to her cabinet. And we've seen that in the past. GWB did it. Barack Obama did it. Would a Trump-Vance administration, would you guys appoint a Democrat to your cabinet?
Oh, of course we would, Stephen. We've actually got a lot of great Democratic support. We just got RFK, of course, Tulsi Gabbard, who endorsed the president in just the last couple of days. If you look at the Trump movement in 2024, it's actually the common sense big tent movement in American politics. We don't agree on everything, of course. Not everybody who votes for Donald Trump is going to agree with every policy issue, but we agree on the basics. We agree that American energy prices should be lower. We agree that we should be making more of our own stuff in the United States of America. We agree that we should close down the border and stop the flow of illegal drugs and trafficking into our country. It's just the basic common sense stuff, and it's telling, that Kamala Harris wants to say that she's the big tent candidate. She wants to say that she stands for a totally different platform than what she ran on 3 years ago, but she's governed as a radical. She will govern further as a radical, and Donald Trump has the record of lower prices, higher wages, and peace across the world. The contrast is extraordinary. We just have to remind the American people that the proof is in the pudding, and Donald Trump did a good job. Kamala Harris did a bad one.